Dear students, welcome to the next topic, unit number 3, topic 3, scales, need, importance, types and application of scales. Scales means psychological measurement. Scaling of behavioral characteristics such as attitudes and interest in psychological dimension. What is the need of scaling? Scaling is required to assess the psychological characteristics. They are used by psychologists to measure the various psychological dimensions. What is the importance of scales in social work research? Psychological scales are used in social work research for quantifying the qualitative information. All the psychological characteristics such as intelligence, attitude, interest are qualitative information. We need to make them into quantitative parameters for which we require psychological scales. What are the types of psychological scales? There are mainly 3 types of psychological scales used in research. They are the Likkert's summated scale, Thurston's equally appearing interval, Gutman's cumulative scaling or scalogram. What is Likkert's summated scale? As you see in the slide, there is a sample given. It is a set of statements which are administered to the respondents, and they are asked to state their agreement to the statement on a 5-point scale. As you see in the slide, there are 6 statements measuring the spiritual attitude or the religious attitude of the people. Let us check the first statement. Most of the people in the world are religious. The researcher asked the respondent whether he or she agrees with the statement. If they agree or disagree, their agreement has to be measured on 5-point scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree. If the person strongly agree, a weightage of 1 is given to that response. If the person agree, the weightage is 2, indifferent, weightage is 3, for disagree, weightage is 4, and strongly disagree, the weightage is 5. Similarly, there are 6 statements for which the agreement has to be marked upon the 5-point scale. At last, the weightage given to each statement is summed up. That is called the summative scoring. The summated score 30 means the least religious, and the summated score 6 means highly religious. As you know, the minimum scoring a person gets is 6 when he strongly agree upon each statement. The maximum score is 30 when he agrees, when he marks strongly disagree for each statement. So everyone's score will range from 6 to 30. The minimum the score, higher the attitude, higher the score, it means less attitude. So this is the Likkert's summated scale. What is Thurston's equally appearing interval? In this case, we administer just 5 statements. Each statement refers to one position from 2 extremes. So there are 5 positions between authoritarian personality and submissive personality. Here we have shown a sample of psychological scale that measures assertiveness or authoritarian personality. So you are given 5 statements, each having 1 to 5 points scoring. You have to indicate your agreement on any one of the statements. Your position will be that of the statement. So the first position, so in the example it is given, I give only orders and never listen to anyone, which means highly authoritarian personality. Let us see the 5th statement, I never give orders and only listen to others, which means totally submissive personality. So people generally occupy one of the 5 positions between these 2 extremes. So this is very simple scale. The respondent has to just mark one of the position, one of the statement that shows his position. Now, the 3rd scale is known as Gutmann's scalogram. Gutmann's cumulative scaling or scalogram analysis is a very useful psychological measurement. In this scale, items are presented in a cumulative degree of the characteristics. The point where the respondent expresses his difference in agreement or disagreement is a significant position. Let us check the example. Here there are 5 statements. These statements denote the social distance, the distance the people maintain with others. It's kind of mental distance or psychological distance, so we better call the social distance. The first statement is, he is from Australia and he is my good friend. I talk with him every day via Facebook. So this is a statement which shows the social distance between 2 friends. One is in India, the other one is in Australia. Let us check the second statement. He is from Australia. He is my good friend. I talk with him every day. I wish to see him in my country. Now see, the second statement shows less distance. The person wants to see him in India. Third statement, he is from Australia. He is my good friend. I talk with him by Facebook. I wish to take him my home. So here the distance is lesser. The person wants to see him in his own home. So accept someone at home, you need to be more intimate. The fourth statement, let us see the last statement in the fourth one. I wish to give him accommodation and cook for him, which means the friend is very, very close. In the last statement, I wish I could live with him or her, which means there is so much intimacy. They are socially very close. So these 5 positions are 5 positions in the scale of social distance. So this is another psychological scale, example of psychological scale which measures social distance. These 3 scales may be used for measuring psychological characteristics. Application of scales in social work research. What is the application of psychological scales in social work research? Generally, psychological scales are not used in social work research. Scales may be used in social work research in the field of medical and psychiatry, family and child welfare, hospital social work, school social work, correctional social work, and industrial social work. Scales are used as supplementary tools for questionnaire and interview schedule to validate the psychosocial information collected. Standardized scales should be used. Caution should be taken to customize a standardized scale according to the situation. An item may be replaced with a similar item so that the reliability and validity of the scales will not be affected. Dear students, welcome to Unit 3, Topic 4, Application of Computers, Data Processing, Analysis, Excel and SPSS. What is the application of computer in research? Computer softwares are used for data processing and data analysis. Generally, Microsoft Excel and statistical packages for social sciences, SPSS in short, are used for data processing and analysis. How do we use Excel? Excel is used for 5 purposes in research. We can use MS Excel for sampling, for the generation of random numbers. Excel spreadsheet is used to prepare the master chart, to transfer all the data, the coded information from the interview schedule to the computer. Thirdly, Excel is used to prepare table, one way, two way, three way and multiple ways of table, multivariate tables. Fourth, we can prepare graphs and diagrams with the help of Excel. Finally, Excel is also used for statistical calculation. There are several formula which Excel provide that can be used for deriving various statistical estimates. Now SPSS. SPSS is the most popular software used by social workers. It is the most user-friendly statistical package. Most of the tasks can be accomplished simply by pointing and clicking the mouse. It is the most comprehensive package available today. A to Z of data processing and statistical analysis can be done with the help of SPSS. You can see a sample of SPSS spreadsheet. After installing SPSS in your computer, you can open and you will find variable view and data view. There are 2 pages in the SPSS spreadsheet. First, we have to use the variable view. The variable view, what we have to do, we have to just enter under label a short of the variables used for the research. For example, gender. Generally, this is the first question in the interview schedule. All the questions represent variables. So each variable has to be encoded in the variable. So under the label, we have to mention, brief the question. Automatically other cells will be filled in the SPSS. After entering the variable under the label, we have to define the values. The value, when you click, a dialog box will appear where you have to enter value, then value label, then add. So in this example, two values are entered. Value 1 represent male, 2 represent female. In this manner, all the questions have to be entered under label and all the codes have to be entered in the values. Now see the data view. The data view, there are two types of entry. One is numerical entry, the other one is labeling entry. Generally we can use the numerical entry. The coded information from the questionnaire have to be transferred into this data sheet. Once it is transferred, it will look like this. In this example, you will find 10 respondents, 6 variables are entered. So the data entry will look like this. After this, we can prepare tables from this data. How to prepare the table? Go to Analysis, select Descriptive Statistics and select Frequency. Once you click Frequency, you will find this dialog box where all the variables you have entered appears in the frequency. When you select them, it will go to the next box and all the selected variables will be converted into frequency tables. After selecting the required number of variables, we can click to the statistics. You will find on the bottom of this box, dialog box, statistics. When you click statistics, you will find another dialog box where you can select quartiles, mean, median, mode, sum. There are options like standard deviation. So all these statistics can be selected, and once you select, click continue. After that, the previous dialog box will reappear where you can click OK. Thereafter, the SPSS will prepare such output where you will find mean, median, mode, sum, percentiles. So if you have clicked standard deviation, that also will appear there. Thereafter, the tables will be presented. Dear students, just to sum up the SPSS, what are the basic steps in SPSS? Step 1, define your data, which means variable entry. That is preparation of the code book in SPSS. Step 2, get your data entered into the SPSS data editor. That means just enter the data in the data view. Step 3, select the variables for the analysis. Here we have seen frequency. Similarly, we can choose cross tabulation, where you can develop bivariate and trivariate tables. There is also option for finding out chi-square and correlation, which we will see in the next unit. Step 4. Select a procedure from the menus to calculate statistics. As I have told you, once you select the variables, you can opt several statistical procedures. For frequency tables, there are options for bar diagram, pie diagram, standard deviation, standard error, etc. Other than the central tendencies like mean, mode and median. In the bivariate analysis, which means the cross-tab option, you can select correlation and the chi-square, which are generally used. Then step 5, run the procedure and look at the result. In the data editor, you should be careful when you enter the data. The rows represent the cases. Each respondent is a case. The first column represents case number. Columns represent variables. Each question is a variable. Sometimes it may represent more than one variable. Cells represent values and codes. We have Spss installed in all the computers in the library, and you can have a practice for yourself. If you want to have a copy, you have to purchase it and install in your computer. Otherwise, you can use it in our library. That is free for you. Thank you.